Good morning. This is Bill from Auto Europe in Naples on a, I don't know. We haven't been having the correct weather in my mind. It's already, mid-November. We have a high of like 87 today. It's still kind of muggy. I feel like we're just being cheated out of another winter, and it's really going to offend me. I know, you guys up north with the sleet and the ice and all that, you're, probably thinking, oh, geez, Louise, what a jerk. But I tell you what, you endure a summer of, 90-degree weather and humidity that attacks you like a fog, and you just want a little reprieve from that. I'd take a week of sleet. I'd have no trouble with that. For a week. I don't want it for a whole, winter, but give me a week. Give me some freezing weather. I'd be a pretty chipper guy. The roosters are down there somewhere, but they appear to be subdued. I'm not really getting anything from them, just a few little rooster noises, but they're not in sight, and that's, appreciated. So anyway, rambling on about nothing, let me get to this. I have a 2013 Mercedes-Benz E350 Cabriolet. This is the W212 body. I think one of the most attractive E-classes that Mercedes-Benz has ever come up with. The angles, the curves, the way they all blend together is absolutely gorgeous. And this one is finished in a very rare color combination. I believe they call it Cuprit brown. It reminds me of Ruprecht from that, I'm dating myself now, but the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I have no idea what a Cuprit is. Obviously I didn't pay enough attention in school, but apparently Cuprits are brown like this thing, and then the color is there. It also has satin and black inside. It's just a gorgeous combination. Also the AMG Sport package, so you get the bumper treatments, the big, attractive 5-spoke alloy wheels, some, exhaust stuff. It just all looks terrific, this car. Really, really clean, low miles, local trade. If I were going to own an E350 cab personally, this is probably the one I'd want. I love them little pickle forks in the rearview mirror, color-coded door handles. Everything about this car looks nice. The rear spoiler, big twice pipes at the bottom. I love that wheel arch curve that, sort of intermingles with the angular lines. They really knocked it out of the park. It does have keyless go, so I can lock it with my thumb on that little square and open it just the same way. This 212 car was another, we talked about that before. Mercedes is always getting criticized, and I guess when you build cars that are a bit of an institution globally, people have an opinion, and you end up getting criticized when they think you haven't done something right. And they thought that the prior generation E's and CLKs, which were already an answer to previous criticism about the cars being too chunky and heavy and unwieldy, they thought that they were a bit decontented and not of the same quality that Mercedes had been famous for. So with the 212, with this car, Mercedes kind of tried to strike the balance between the two. It was still lightish-ish and nimble and, easy to steer and drive, while at the same time having a bit more content, a bit more, stuff on it, and not necessarily equipment, but, accoutrements like, the wood trim and the seats and the dashboard. They tried to make all that feel a little bit more expensive than it did in the prior models. And they succeeded. This car was, almost $70,000, so expensive they can do. Okay, in the back you can see you got a nice size trunk for a 4-seat convertible. Very much like the CLK that came before it. You got a little, used tire department. That's brilliant. Spare tire is underneath that thing there. This big partition is where the top goes, and when it's up you can fold that forward and get a ton of trunk room. So these things are pretty useful 4-seat convertibles. You're able to get a bunch of crap in the trunk. Have a look under the hood. So new for 2013 is what we're going to find under here, if I can figure out a way to reach the hood release. And that was a big time update on this 3.5 liter V6. They really did work some magic with it. They made it direct injection. They tuned and tweaked the computer on it, and they did a few things to bump up the horsepower from 268 to 302. So this thing has pretty much the same horsepower an 05 SL500 had out of a 6-cylinder. Not bad. And at the same time, it increased the fuel economy and, you know, made it a little bit more peppy all across the rev band. So very nice tuning from Mercedes. If I have any complaints about it, it's that the direct injection sounds a bit ticky to me. You know, it's not quite a valve tick type sound, but it's, you know, it's a distant cousin to that. And you just hear it on these direct injection cars. I guess there's not really any way around it. I believe Porsche uses 2 sets of injectors to try to tone it down, but God knows that's too expensive to do on a big scale. Anyway, everything nice and lovely under there, just 33,000 miles on this thing, so it's all mint. Look at that beautiful big star in the grille with only the 2 wide slats for the sport package. Man, that's good looking. The xenon headlights, the LEDs at the bottom, the pointy front end. Just really like this car. Okay, so I've been having trouble using the key to run the top, but we're going to go and give it a try on this one again. Let's see what happens. Alright, so I'm going to hold the key, press and hold the lock button, and look at this, magic is happening finally. Top cover comes up. Up comes this incredibly well designed. In fact, I'm going to stop it for a minute so you can see this. Have a look at the design that goes into this. Never mind all these little wires and God knows what they are to keep everything tight. Look at the insulation in it, the padding, you know, the construction, the workmanship of the hinges, the rubbers. I mean, this thing is so beautifully engineered to keep out any, never mind weather, keep out any kind of wind noise or anything, that it's just fantastic. When this top is up, you almost don't know that you're in a convertible. Alright, so it all gets nice and back there. Up come the windows. Don't know why just the rear two, but so be it. Let me see if I get the front two with another one. Yeah, there they go. Alright, and then you are nicely sealed up. Now, the nice thing about that feature is if you know, park your car at the store, you're walking in, you're leaving the top down because you're just going to do a quick dash, and all of a sudden it just looks like rain, or you see some, you know, miscreants standing around somewhere, politicians or reporters or something. You may want to say, okay, the hell with that. I'm going to, you know, put the top up and keep it safe from the weather or the unmentionables. And so you can, and you do it without getting back in it, turning the key, starting it up. It's just a nice feature. All right, let's have a look inside. In fact, you know what? I'm going to run it back down again to do that. Why not? Spend a little time. Okay, so just in reverse. Now I'm pressing and holding unlock. See, the rear comes up. Up comes the top cover again. Releases from the front. And the whole assembly goes down. Nice. I also like they used a black headliner in this car. You know, sometimes you're running around with the windows down, the headliners get a bit dirty. Alright, so let's fire it up. I'm going to show you one more thing before we go for a spin. Replace key battery. Seems I just can't get in a car these days without it giving me some kind of warning thing. Anyway, in here is where you would run the top by hand. Also a 4-way window switch. That big bar is the top. And then this guy is the front windshield wind deflector, which I know my detailer didn't clean beneath. But anyway, so when you hit that, that thing pops up. And in the back, between the headrests, you can see the rear windscreen pops up. And what those are going to do is keep wind noise inside down to a minimum. All very nice stuff. There you can hear that kind of ticking thing from the engine that I'm just not a big fan of, the direct injection. It'll take me a while to get used to that. Beautiful leather bucket seats, gorgeous saddle color, absolutely stunning, the interior of this car. I also love the very dark wood with the contrasting saddle and black in the door panels. It just looks classy, looks really, really nice. Also orthopedic seats in this one. You see all those adjustments over there, so if you got a bad back, you'd be able to move this thing in, you know, 50 different directions to make it work. You got all your power windows here, your power seats, nice little pocket down there. Even power mirrors finally on the door, not over here in some stupid place where it was on the CLKs. Here's a good example. On the CLK, this seat release was a big plastic thing on top, and now on this E-cab that followed it, you have a beautiful big chunky chrome thing. So that's getting into the content that Mercedes had been criticized for. You also see you have this very attractive dark wood area concealing cup holders. You've got a pass-through into the trunk there. You've got Harman Kardon sub in the bottom. You know, just all very lovely. Your Canadians are going to be thrilled back there. Yeah, thrilled enough. And if they're not, the hell with them. I mean, what on earth do you care about the backseat pad? My sister's always talking about that when she's bringing her kids around. Oh, they need to be comfortable in the back. Who gives a crap, man? Stuff them back there. You know, throw them a Nintendo or something. Tell them to shut up. They'll be fine. Go buy their own car when they get a job. Okay, so very nicely and very classy laid out instrument cluster with the aluminum trim, very easy to read black and white faced gauges. You got a big clock again. You got your tach over there with the, I don't know, 6300 rev red line. You got a water temp. You got your automatic headlights, multifunction steering wheel with this beautiful dark wood. Absolutely lovely. Love the titanium spokes. You know, this is the kind of content that made these cars really, really nice. Little tweeters up here with the Harman Kardon Mercedes-Benz command unit, the cockpit management and data system. That's how they spell command with one M. And that's kind of a neat thing. You could use this joystick to control it, or there's direct access buttons here, but essentially you can go through and get your navigation. Let's see what else we got. Audio. Now we went into phone. There's your Bluetooth. Audio's what? AM, FM, SAT, disc, memory card, blah, blah, blah. All that. So if you need to entertain yourself, not a problem. What else we have? Video system. You can change system settings. You can have a clock if you want it. It's all very nice stuff. And I think it also gives you a camera in this one. Yeah, sure does. All lovely. This is a neat button underneath the hazard and indicator for the airbags. Let's say that you're in the car, your little seatbelt presenters here have gone back because you've been sitting there doing notes. You press this guy, and look at that. The seatbelts will represent themselves to you. So that was a nice touch. On the old cars, the CLKs where that came out, there was no button to do that. So if the thing's retracted because you took your time putting on the seatbelt, you had to reach back further, and that's just no good. Here's your in-dash CD changer, all the different direct access buttons. You've got heated seats. You've got this air scarf thing here for, so if I press that, air is going to emanate, hot air, mind you, this is for cooler weather, will emanate out of those two little vents inside the seat, keep your neck warm, and theoretically keep the rest of you warm. This thing will run those, you see that going down again, those rear headrests and windscreen up and down. You got automatic climate control down there, all very nice. Still a bona fide genuine ashtray for any residual smokers that are left. Let's get our defrost on. You've got a very attractive, look at the brushed aluminum. Yeah, it's gorgeous with the black wood, the brushed aluminum, the black leather. I mean, this is artwork, the shifter on this car. Just beautiful to look at. You can bang your way through the gears this way. There's 7 of them. You can flippity flip your way through the gears with those things. Defrost isn't working very well. Turn that down. So it's just a neat way to drive the car. I mean, it really isn't meant to be particularly sporty, so you're not going to be doing a lot of paddle shifting on the track, but it's just nice to have that option. And God, is it beautiful. I mean, that shifter mechanism is just lovely combined with this steering wheel and the wood, and, you know, so they really did add some nice stuff to the 212. So we got 2 keys. What do we got in here? Books. Lucky enough to have a sticker. No, doesn't matter. Anyway, nice set of books. You got your iPod stuff in there. That's probably an emergency top tool, and everything lovely in the dashboard. And then back here you got more iPod stuff. Another place my detailer didn't clean. You got some sort of outlet there, USB. You got a little pencil. I'll leave that in there for you. Electrochromatic rearview mirror with HomeLink garage door openers. Little, you know, sun visors with mirrors. Everything you need to be happy. All right, let's go for a spin. We're on hold. Okay, there. So it's got one of those auto hold e-brakes. That's stuff I find very complicated. Okay, so talk about peppy and responsive, and that's what this this 6-cylinder is. It's really, really nice. And again, it's got all the pep and power of the 8-cylinder from a few years ago. Probably not the same torque, but pretty damn good for a 6, especially without a turbo. Let's get our wind scar fizz up, or okay, hammer it. Let's see. Man, nice exhaust note, nice response, nice power. It's all steering and throttle by wire, so it's absolutely past the noise. You know, the steering and the brakes have been designed by a team of engineers to feel fantastic, and they do. By all these people. Bunch of trucks out this morning. So anyway, lovely car to drive. You know, of course you get some wind noise when you're hauling ass with the top down, but you know, otherwise cruising speeds, it goes quiet. You can have a nice hushed conversation, and you just feel the quality and, you know, the well-built construction all around you. And, you know, that's nice, because one of my complaints about modern Mercedes and any car is that they've all become so cookie cutter. You know, you don't necessarily get to feel that much difference between the high-end version of a Benz or BMW or Audi or, you know, any company really. So Mercedes in 2013, they made this car very, very distinctive in a lot of ways, and that's appreciated by an old Benz fan like me. So anyway, 2013 Mercedes-Benz E350 Cabrio, Cupid brown with satin leather. 33,000 miles. This thing's a champion, absolute champion of a car. If you have an interest, give us a call, 239-298-8000, on the web at aenaples.com. Sorry for the sun all around, nothing I can do about it. If you have an interest, give us a call. We're happy to talk to you. Take care.